Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Destination Pro Wrestling. In this video, tons of news. We know a former WWE superstar is possibly headed to AEW. He actually just had a tryout for AEW last night. I have all the details on that. Also, Danhausen from ROH, rumors of him going to AEW. There's been interest reportedly before. Now that, everybody from ROH is being released, Danhausen's rumored to go to AEW. Does that make a lot of sense? Matchups I want to see, that type of stuff. I'll bring that to you guys in just a moment. Also, Tully Blanchard not traveling with FTR to AAA. I'm going to tell you guys why that might be a concern. Hopefully it isn't. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let's just kind of jump into it. So let's talk about FTR and AAA. If you guys aren't familiar with what's going on, November 4th, AAA has TV tapings. And, FTR is going there with Vicky Guerrero instead of Tully Blanchard. This was confirmed by Meltzer, who basically went out and said, they got to defend their AAA titles, and there's no reason as to why Tully Blanchard's not going to be there, but for now, they're just paired with Vicky Guerrero. Totally cool. I understand why Vicky Guerrero makes a lot of sense. I'm not even really mad about that, but the reason why I thought this was interesting news is because this is not happening under AEW's supervision. This is happening under AAA. So being that AAA is the one who's handling all of this booking and all of this creative, I really don't know what we should be expecting in terms of storyline wise, because if Tully Blanchard is not traveling to Mexico, I mean, it could be a variety of reasons. Obviously, we still have a pandemic. I don't know if quarantines are still part of the thing, but nonetheless, it's one of those things where I felt like it's important to mention this, that if Tully Blanchard is for some reason not traveling to Mexico, unless it's like part of something big, which hasn't been confirmed, then I would assume this is kind of just a one-off thing. We shouldn't expect to see Vicky Guerrero with FTR going forward, but you never know how they kind of shape this storyline-wise. That's going to be what's really most important. Next story for the day, we got to talk about it, guys. Remember this guy on the screen, Ricardo Rodriguez? Well, good news. Fans in attendance reported that, Ricardo Rodriguez, real name Jesus Rodriguez, was on the Spanish commentary team as part of a tryout with AEW last night after Dynamite. And I'm actually kind of cool with this. I think it's like really interesting. We haven't seen him in a long time. If I remember correctly, last time I saw him on Twitter doing some stuff with like Great Khali maybe, or like in India, wrestling promotion stuff. Obviously, he's a trainer. He trains wrestlers. He did confirm at one point in some interviews that he's got a lot of people in AEW and WWE, so he was always interested in working with either one of them. As you guys know, after everything kind of happened with Del Rio, Ricardo Rodriguez was pretty much useless in WWE. So after that whole thing happened, that was pretty much the end of it. And it's definitely been some time. But the fact that AEW is even having him try out, doing like a tryout for commentary, Spanish commentary team, I think it'd be kind of cool. The thing is, this guy actually knows how to wrestle, and I understand that's not really what was like significant about him. But with AEW, this is one of those things where I don't think it necessarily hurts the company. And I don't think it, like, if for some reason you ever want your Spanish commentary team to take a bump, this guy can do it. So that's just like some food for thought. That's something I think a lot of people don't necessarily talk about a lot when it comes to signings like this. But the guy obviously knows how to take a bump. So, hey, he was good on the mic. He knows how to wrestle. You don't really need him much more for any of that. Leave him on the commentary team. If for some reason you ever need him to take a bump, you can do that. Or, just a suggestion, you have Andrade. The whole thing with Ric Flair might not be going down. Cough, cough, wink, wink. Maybe you bring Ricardo Rodriguez and Andrade together. Just saying, it's a possibility. It could be something cool. This guy can obviously do a lot more than just commentate. Why not bring him in, help him become the voice of a talent that needs to get over? Maybe Bandito getting released from ROH comes to AEW. You guys get the point. You guys get the gist. But pretty cool stuff. We'll see if AEW actually signs him. I'll bring you guys more updates on that as they come. All right, guys, we got to talk about Danhausen, because if you didn't know, there has been tons of interest in Danhausen for a while. I pretty much admitted this before. Like, I didn't really understand his whole gimmick. I didn't really understand his whole thing. I think this guy is really sick. And I'm just saying, I think Danhausen, like, him being on TV is what really matters. And I think when it's not really if it happens, it's when it happens. When he gets signed or picked up by AEW or WWE. Like, that's the real thing, right? But there has been interest in Danhausen before from large companies, so this is not really a shock. But as soon as the news dropped of ROH releasing everybody, Danhausen tweeted out the very, very funny meme gif of him doing the Cody Rhodes. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's really hard to describe, but it's from Being the Elite. He tweeted it out. Obviously, there's been a lot of interest in Danhausen before. The internet, of course, absolutely wants to see Danhausen in AEW. And, you know, this is where we get into a very chaotic conversation about AEW signing too many people. But there are just certain people out there, I think, if AEW or WWE were to sign them, it's just worth it. And I think Danhausen is worth it. This is not going to be the type of signing that brings in a favorable amount of mainstream fans. This is one of those signings where, if utilized correctly, a new first-time viewer might enjoy that, and might single-handedly be the reason why they come back, right? It's not that Danhausen is recognized by 20 million people. It's the fact that he's so good that if a casual person were to watch it, they might be interested in it. That's kind of how I feel about Danhausen. But I also feel that way with a lot of other people from ROH. I mean, let's take a look at Seth Rollins, for example. Tyler Black became Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, throughout time, got bigger and better, more charismatic, better in-ring technique, a better image. And then WWE, obviously, you combine all of that with the booking, people really got behind Seth Rollins. It's kind of like the same formula with Danhausen. He has potential, and he can evolve into so much more. If I'm AEW, this guy is not going to cost you millions of dollars. Why not sign him? There was a big, big push of getting Danhausen in for the TNT Open Championship matches, right? The Open Challenge. It never happened. So if I'm AEW, I do it. Your hardcore audience definitely wants this. He's teasing it. Just do it. Make wrestling fans happy. And I'm sure from a business side of things, in the long term, it could be really cool. And I don't think this overshadows any of the youth talent in AEW, because as known as Danhausen is in the indies, that's all he is known for at the moment, which means there is a far greater ceiling for this guy. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.